evening, and gosh, that was a bit over-enthusiastic. Welcome back to the Dwarven Fortress of Esmulrakust, where things were getting quite exciting last Sunday, just before I paused. This will probably not be a very long stream because I am going away tomorrow, and possibly I ought to finish packing before I do that. But we'll probably be here for an hour or so. So what was happening last time? Well, essentially a goblin siege turned up, and they brought their usual complement of engineering crew. They came in through the former kennels, and we had turned them into, well, partly a goblin digging lounge, as Dizzy described it, but since we'd made fortifications this time, it also became an excellent place to be killing goblins. So, quite a few of them didn't come out of it very happily. There were perhaps fewer deaths than I would have liked there, but still. But they did eventually dig through our iron reinforced pyrolusite block fortifications, and thus we used our emergency lever to connect this bolt thrower turret to the barbican full of traps rather than to the rest of the fortress, and that worked quite well. We've got all of this construction is actually from a previous goblin siege, which I haven't bothered demolishing. As you can see, a lot of people have died in the barbican full of traps and bolt thrower. But then they also, well, I'm not quite sure what they did. They seem to have constructed a staircase up from the bottom of the moat, but they didn't actually reach the... let me just switch my IRC around. There we are. They didn't actually build up from the bottom to anywhere useful. That staircase stops there, but they did come in from above and come in through the other front turret, which also had a bolt thrower in it, but doesn't anymore because someone's demolished that one. And then, though we pulled the emergency lever on that side, they did construct a floor all the way across where the bridge used to be, destroy the bridge. But while they were doing that, we constructed an additional bolt thrower here, provided it with a supply of bolts, well, tried to anyway, constructed a reinforced steel fortification here, and appear to have successfully slaughtered so many goblins that they're not trying to come in this way anymore. But they did also build a staircase down... No, not there. Maybe it was this downward slope. They sorted out a means of getting back down to here, and there do appear to be there are now no surviving enemy siege engineers to build things. But there are still two blind cave ogre miners. So if we scroll through this lot, we can see there are still a decent number of goblins out there. But there don't appear to be any siege engineers, but there are two blind cave ogre miners, and they are digging through this wall here from this area, which is essentially the place we dump people who've tried to bypass the siege engines, and they're digging through from there into presumably this tunnel. It would be worse if they dug into this tunnel, which would get... But if they dig into this one, that gets them access to, via admittedly a forbidden floor hatch, a passageway that leads into the fortress. So I think we probably want to stop that. There's a lever to stop that. But if they get in here, so I dug this extra tunnel in order to make it possible to resupply this bolt thrower without going via, without needing to open this door and see all the way down to the into the Barbican where there are scary goblins. But this does mean that this corridor is rather more connected than I would like. On the other hand, the invading force is relatively small now. So yes, I am slightly wondering what I should do now about these guys. So the reason these guys are still alive, I think, is that this weapon trap has a mangled corpse of a beak dog in it, and that has jammed the weapon trap, so the weapon trap isn't working anymore. So anyone else who comes through here will have to get through this weapon trap, which I believe is still fully functional. I think possibly I want to close that door and install additional weapon traps along here. Oh, I should do my thing with the game log in case anyone's watching it, shouldn't I? And answer a question on RC. Right. So I think I want to lay in a bunch of weapon traps along here in order to and probably along here in order to surprise anyone who comes in. And probably to have some troops here to help deal with it if they come in that way. And I want to pull the lever that locks the one-way door, so that if they're actually heading for here, they find they can't get in again. So I bet then they'll immediately burrow through this wall. So have we got the materials for some weapon traps? We have one shale mechanisms left. Okay. It's probably not ideal. Looking through this to see what weapon we might want to use. Weapons rather. Oh, we'll put in an iron pike. That's probably quite good. In particular, things that are a bit big for dwarves would be nice. Right, well, that will construct one weapon trap, which might be enough. Let's make some more mechanisms, because that will probably help. Though we probably can't afford 10 of them. We don't have very much rock lying around. Right. And we can get troops here reasonably quickly, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. Let us unpause and see what happens. Right, well, oh yes, I need to set my laptop to fast mode, don't I? There we go. That's in toast Ben's knees, but make the computer go to sensible speed mode. So there's clearly still people attempting to go through the Barbican. Yeah, we're very short of bolt throwers. I think one of the things I'm going to want to reorganise is how we oh, that trap might actually be too close. To be able to be constructed, in that from there you can probably see out into the Barbican a bit. So what's happening now is that the operator of this bolt thrower is repeatedly going and fetching as many bolts as they can conveniently carry. All right, you're the person I want to watch. Are you going to carry on constructing this building? Yes, it looks like you are. Good. And shipping them back to the bolt thrower and firing them all, and then coming back and getting the next batch. So, like, this is having an adequate effect on the goblins, but the blind cave ogres are still heading inwards. I mean, they're not very happy, seriously injured and retching on a miasma. And like, they haven't brought any very good miners. So the miners are moving fairly slowly. But they've just advanced one square. Oh, that's amusing. I can't see what this square is made of. Is that because it's being mined by someone I can't see? And it's not, possibly it's not connected to a piece of fortress that has any of my dwarves in it, because I've just closed that, which means it's no longer connected to the main fortress until they break through this wall. Is that what's going on? That's slightly confusing. But that means I possibly can't trust when they're going to come through the wall, which will be entertaining. That's curious. Someone has left the map. Is the siege over, but no one's told the ogres? It is. I think that may stay there until the last of the goblins leaves. Oh look, we're shooting some people up here as well. I mean, this looks like goblins fleeing the map, for instance. So I think they may have decided that they're beaten, even if they haven't formally surrendered yet. we do appear now to be down to not very many. All right, we have now appear to have 4 goblin spearmen who are operating a battering ram. So that's that lot. We have 1 pike master who is heading towards the edge of the map. Okay, that was another goblin dying. So now we only have the 4 operators of that the battering ram and 2 blind cave ogre miners. Who are possibly trying to get through this wall. So are the battering ram squad very slowly leaving the map? They're quite well to the north of the fortress now. It's possible they are. P.S. Puppies. Oh no, when I say they're to the north of the fortress, they're actually to the south of the fortress, faffing around. Possibly running in, well, not running, trudging in circles. I think we may need to send a squad out to deal with them. This is the point at which I wish my release the hounds lever worked, because like... Oh, someone else has left the map that I didn't notice. Oh, there's going to be, of course, some beak dogs as well. Here's the last beak dog. I think its lungs may not work very well, which is why it keeps flashing up as winded. It will get off the map eventually. But I don't think we need to watch that. So where am I? Where's that battering ram squad? Are they going anywhere yet? If they're heading off the map, then that would be quite nice. Maybe they're now just heading due east towards the map edge. No, now they're going north. Have they found a way past the fortress entrance? No, now they're going west. I think we fear we may need to send someone out to, at the very least, distract them. if nothing else, there's a human scholar visiting, and surely they need to be able to get into the library. Let's pull some levers to try to let them in. But if these guys with the battering ram don't get themselves sorted soon, we are going to send a squad out to pick them off, which is kind of unfortunate because they clearly... Oh! Something has happened while I was watching that. They broke through in the wrong place, at least from their point of view. They're apparently still alive. Possibly not anywhere I can see. Okay, that blind cave ogre miner is not well though. I think I just spotted one of them. Yes, there's one. Trying to flee. But unfortunately trying to flee via one of my bolt throwers, which will be problematic, yes, if they ever regain consciousness. So yes, that blind cave ogre miner just got repeatedly shot until dead. Is the other one still alive? No, right, both of the blind cave ogre miners didn't manage to make it out. This lot, however, are still faffing around outside, accomplishing fairly little. Maybe they're heading steadily north now. I'm not that hopeful. I mean, they have made it past the fortress entrance, I suppose, which is nice. But they do seem to find escaping the fortress, escaping the kind of hillside, very difficult. I think I'm going to send someone out to help them. And by help, I mean kill.
I think escaping a hillside would be easy, just follow the force of gravity.
Yes, yes. Indeed, ought to be quite easy, but... Oh yes, there's a burning humanoid forgotten beast down in the caverns, isn't there?
Yeah.
We were wondering if it was going to meet any of the other forgotten beasts in the caverns. Oh no, not Strabo. Strabo's the one of the ones that's just stuck up a tree. Or the flaming humanoid wandering around, leaving forest fires behind. Or apparently, oh yes, you are still wandering. Possibly at some point you will find something to do down there. other than starting new fires. And apparently falling out of trees. So those guys are still mucking around. So, oh, we should also, there's another lever to pull, isn't there? That one. So that was quite a long siege, and it is still technically going on. You're not fighting, you're standing up. Right, so now we should be able to summon let's just take the various squads that currently have that are currently stationed somewhere unhelpful anyway. Find the battering ram squad and say, look, we could just say kill one of them and hope that that's enough, and that the rest will then flee reasonably rapidly. It does feel slightly silly though. Let's try to get all four. So here is our squad heading after the goblins. There are some unfortunate goblins. Because fundamentally they're not actually very tough. Especially when you send 30 dwarves after them. And possibly we only needed to distract them, but it'll do. So I don't think they got any dangerous hits in, so that's nice. Right, so that means that the siege is over. We lost one dwarf, and we have a hell of a lot of cleaning up to do. So I think we can pause that burrow for now, because we've sealed up the lower part entrance to the fortress anyway. We can release all of the bolt throwers. We can adjust things so that most of the siege operators are allowed to do other things. And indeed release them from siege operating duties in general and stick someone else into that task briefly. And then we probably need to do some repairs and dispose of some dead goblins. That's at the very least. I think we're going to go for even more. Let's continue with the steel reinforced steel walls. Because that's probably a good way to slow people down. And we'll also want one there. We probably want to reinstate that wall. And probably that one as well, though that one's less critical. So that's patching up the holes. And then we need to dispose of an awful lot of dead goblins. And many of them have rotted down to skeletons, so it's going to be a bit awkward finding them all.
Within the space of one siege?
Yes, it was quite some siege. They did a lot of digging. Well, I suppose any skeleton that's marked skeleton or corpse that's a G is almost certainly. Oh, hang on. No, before we do that, we should re-enable.
Your outside dump is misspelled.
Oh, so it is. Re-enable the outside garbage dump. That's the hole, and it's already open. Right, so now we can mark any spare corpses for disposal. They look like that's a good plan. So I think first pass at least should be anything that's a corpse or an obviously goblin or related skeleton. This is going to take a while, because there are a lot of them. Maybe I should do this by page like that. That's probably better, isn't it? G, 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 page, G, O, G, B, G, O, B, B. That's not one of our, there, but theirs, I think. I think we will automatically butcher the, no, that's the wrong thing, butcher the cave dragon. That they brought with them. Possibly we should also dispose of these dead batmen at some point, but I presume you're some kind of forgotten beast. Zolak, I think, is the cave dragon they brought, so that will probably get automatically disposed of, converted into a big pile of bones, which we can then use to decorate things. Oh, another cave dragon. Nice. All of that is goblin-y. We'd only barely got rid of the last pile of goblin teeth before this siege began. Oh, another cave dragon. Again, only a skeleton, so it won't give us any meat, sadly. Though we aren't really short of food at the moment. Now we've found all of the beak dogs. Right, so that will at least give us some collection to do. So meanwhile, we should probably lower that bridge again. That one at least is likely still to be functional. If we're going to do that, really want to discourage people from being in the area where it's going to lower to. I'm going to stare at this and good, we didn't kill anyone. Where was I? There. We can now put that back to normal. Right, so that at least will provide a slightly easier route in and out of that area. Presume that dwarf corpse there is actually going to get buried. You don't seem to have a task for that, which is a bit odd. We've run out of places to bury people again. No. That furniture is bizarrely part of multiple rooms, though. Maybe we should work out why. Okay, there appear to be a lot of... So where is the one in question? It's that one, isn't it? Okay. So that one probably should be covering it. That one shouldn't. Right, so that square is now part of only one tomb and appears to be working properly. Okay, it is actually possible that we don't have any empty tombs at the moment. Oh, I should be able to check that, shouldn't I? I should be able to go here. find the tombs and go, well, that tomb's apparently unoccupied. Yes, why are you not burying our person there then? Oh, some migrants have arrived. Didn't even get it despite the danger. So apparently it's quite safe here now. I think some people might be storing items in a bin, so that's good. Oh, is that in a tomb rather? Yes, good. Right. I think our dead dwarf is going to get buried in due course. Right, that square there can now be carved back into fortifications. As can that one there. Right, corpses are slowly getting deposited in the rubbish dump. So we should probably remove at least some of the ogre constructions. Why did you go up there? What on earth were you hoping to achieve by that? Oh, I suppose there is actually a... You maybe... Oh, right, you didn't actually come in... Or did you? Did you come in from two directions? Anyway, we will demolish that staircase.
They built a staircase to get up the hill.
Yes. So I'm not... It almost looks as though I can't demolish that staircase. I'm slightly reluctant to be overly vigorous in my... to just pull out bits, supporting bits of this staircase in case I collapse it in a way that hurts people. So I'm just trying to work out what I can safely do here. Like, that staircase is probably fixed to this wall. But the problem is that this one... Oh, this one is surely fixed to that floor. So I would expect I can actually safely demolish quite a lot of these without anything falling down. But I might want to be a bit careful just so that I can get at all the things as I'm demolishing them. So like that one I can safely demolish, but if I'm going to do it higher up, I think that one is probably the first priority. Now again, so I could mark that up stairway for demolition, but not that down stairway. Which feels weird. Let's try demolishing that up stairway then. And see how much of a disaster that is and how much people get killed by it. Hopefully not at all, but... I think the goblin corpses situation is now pretty sensible. I think we now need to start dealing with body parts, which are harder because you can't easily tell what is and isn't a goblin part. So that very much looks like a goblin name. Anything that hasn't rotted to bones and that isn't obviously dwarven. And probably be disposed of as well. That looks like a elven name. We don't even know whose tooth that is. Which does mean that we can tell it's a goblin tooth. We obviously don't have a use for goblin teeth. I think Snamoz is a goblin name, but I'm a bit suspicious.
There was a name there that was too difficult to spell. In the middle there, Bosa Smust.
Yeah, that look, yes. Smunstertusnom. It's not too hard. Pretty sure Snamoz is goblin-y.
Goblin tooth there.
Oh yeah, that one's done. I think these must be wreckage of cave dragons. Well, that's at least some things that want disposed of. What? Now some elves have apparently turned up. But couldn't you at least give us a bit of a chance to tidy up? I mean, if that's all there is of you, then we may not be worried, but
You never know with elves, 'cause
yes, never can tell with elves. Let us ask everyone to come inside. Re-enable the legendary siege operators. Enable perhaps slightly more bolt throwers than is strictly necessary. Are you confused? Oh, no, you've abandoned that skeleton. Good. Not least because there are some elves coming. Oh yes, we do have an important lever to pull at this stage, don't we? We haven't spotted any more elves. We have like one human and one elf currently crossing the drawbridge. We found another human. Okay, that's quite a lot more enemies. Well, you tried. Right, let's assume that we have managed to get most people onto the correct side of the entrance. And close the main inner drawbridge. We'll leave the one-way valve in use. Oh, we did successfully demolish a piece, the one of those bits of staircase at least. Oh, well, that was some excellent timing. The incoming human swordmaster was within 1 square of getting off the drawbridge inside the Barbican. They are now plummeting.
Parry this.
I mean, they did successfully parry the ground. Well, not the ground, but the weapon trap that was down there. But immediately started getting shot. And I think those 2 invaders have now been killed. Who are you and what are you doing? You're trying to find a way into the fortress. I mean, you are one of ours, so... I don't think we need that bolt thrower to be in use. But on the other hand, we do probably want to actually be able to get at the place where the front bolt thrower was, so we do need to dismantle that fortification there, which feels a bit scary, but also we should mark more. Oh yes, we should mark more areas as being back inside the fortress again, because otherwise no one's going to fire the bolt throwers. We apologise for the miasma. So another elf is bravely crossing the drawbridge. Bravely dropping dead.
Can I have this page up and therefore see some data here from the door? I just got to the bottom and yes, I do also hear an audio vision. That would be more helpful today, right?
Oh dear, someone just got killed because they had got stuck in the wrong place. That's sad. Oh, yes. I will. Curses, yes, I should have permitted people to pass through that floor hatch in order to allow them to escape from the thing. Also, we have a connection which we shouldn't have here. So let's reinstate that bit of floor. What are you doing? Right, you're fixing a trap. Okay, that's fine.
I'm fixing a trap where the elves get in.
Yes. Oh dear, and a stone carver has got stuck out there. You're probably going to have a bad time of it too. Oh, we do have a bolt hole somewhere in that area though. And there's someone else out there. And someone else. Oh dear. We do have a lot of people out there. Um, so maybe we can open that bolt hole. But like this is... There's 3 dwarves down there. It's kind of tempting to send a squad out to deal with them, but with the elves, but there are a lot of elves that we know of. And probably even more that we don't know of. And that's completely wrong. I don't want to build a wall across this corridor. I want to build a floor. Right. There is an unlocked bolt hole. Don't seem to have a burrow for it, so let's add one. Then can we do assignment of people to burrows from here? Probably not. But Ilral Erib Xenon. and Ilral Kolnitig. And ideally, though probably in too much trouble, Durbar Konorsikud. All being well, one of these will get assigned the job of pulling that lever. Right. We'll then unfortunately lock that bolt hole. Possibly we can cancel that as soon as the person is inside and then get it assigned to someone else. But it's probably been assigned to someone in the wrong place, hasn't it? Because that's how things go. Oh no, no. Ilral Kolnitig. I suppose no one else can take the job. Right, Stonecarver has been killed, but Ilral Kolnitig has made it in there. Where is our other lost elf? It was another Ilral, wasn't it? Ilral Erib Zenon is in that area. So what I can do now, maybe, is make a quick new meeting area down here. That will encourage them to stay there. Remove the pull lever job from Kolnitig. Dedicate the lever to Erib Zenon. Still needs to be pulled. No, don't leave. Oh good, you're not leaving. You're now going to pull the lever. Good. No, don't leave. I said don't leave. That's leaving. We clearly need multiple levers in here. They don't need to do anything. We just need to assign everyone to pull the lever repeatedly. Indeed, levers that don't do anything would be the ideal sort. No, look, you're running away faster than the other person's heading towards the place. Okay, I'm going to assign you to the southwest bolt hole and hope for the best. Oh dear. What? You've just fled the bolt hole quite correctly because the humans have got in. Right, southeast bolt hole, where's the south bolt hole? There it is. Uh, oops. Let's see if we can save at least one of you. I fear that Ilrab Erib Xenon is going to encounter an unfortunate end quite shortly. Maybe Ilral Kol Nittig, or whatever their name was, will, however, survive. Yes, unsurprisingly. Maybe you can survive. No, don't try to store an item in a bin. Don't try to do anything that involves leaving there. Uh, you should not be trying to take tasks that involve leaving that hole in the ground. Okay, I'm slightly concerned that the lid hasn't closed. I'm going to ask you to pull the lever again. Obviously I need to... Right, good. One bolt hole successfully bolted. I wonder what's been going on elsewhere while I've been doing that. Oh, we could do with a new bolt thrower in this turret, couldn't we? Oh. All right, that still hasn't been rebuilt. Have another go at building it, please. All right, the pyrolusite blocks we're trying to use to build this are on the wrong side of it. That's why it won't work. Let's just enable the schist blocks because those are nice and distinctive. That should make that practical to build. Oh look, the humans come up close to the front entrance and been killed by the bolt thrower. So we might now have enough access to build a new bolt thrower here. Let's find the best equipments we have lying around. Probably doesn't matter what the quality of the bin is, but just confirming that we do actually have stockpiles for storing bolts in there. Presumably just someone shooting at the enemy. Yes, good. I had intended to reorganise my crossbow bolt industry, but I didn't quite get around to it. Yes, I'm sorry to report that if you get too close to my fortress, death will very definitely be all around you. And probably going straight through you as well.
I mean, part of the reason is you didn't have time to clear up the death from previous.
Yes, yes. I mean, no, we did dispose of most of the dead goblins out the front of the fortress before the next round, siege turned up. What I was kind of intending to do was to try to get enough, to decide that we had enough iron production that we simply wouldn't load individual bolts into bolt throwers. So we would just make them in batches of 25, shoot them, and then possibly collect them up and put them in bins, but not actually reuse them, and insist that bolt throwers in general only got fed with new batches of 25 bolts. In order to make reloading quicker, because one of our problems before was that reloading was taking a long time because we had to insert bolts one at a time. So how are you feeling? Yes, I must admit that this is going to be a very boring and slightly annoying place to stay, because you only have food and drink available to you and not even a bed.
So what these bolt throwers are missing is the notion of a magazine.
Yes, that you could reload without having to do it at the bolt thrower.
Right. I understand that magazines for firearms, someone's got to painstakingly slot every damn bullet into the magazine, but it doesn't have to be done in a tearing hurry in the middle of the attack, because you can have a stack of pre-filled magazines.
Yes. We don't have a way of constructing a stack. Right, so yes, now I've set this brand new bolt thrower to be used. Let's try to tidy up the rubbish in this corridor a bit, for it is getting silly. So I'm not sure we need all those stacks of bolts now in this stockpile, because we're not expecting to need that again anytime very soon. So it feels like that's a bit of a waste. Let's delete that stockpile so that those bolts can go somewhere more useful. There are still some, but not very many invaders around. Let's give them a chance to find something else to do. Okay, I don't quite know why a puppy was flying through the air there. Apparently there are so many people walking through here that they're causing confusion and occasional physics weirdness or something, I don't know. I think they're all trying to tidy up the enormous amounts of goblinite that we accumulated in this corridor. Yes. Okay, a stray cat outside has got into trouble. Oh, the cave crocodile has got into a fight with the forgotten beast that's an ankylosaurid, I think. Given that the cave crocodile doesn't appear to be on fire. But ultimately it died of violence rather than poisoning. Right, so we have both front bolt throwers staffed. It is 18 minutes past midnight, or almost 18 minutes past midnight. Possibly I should actually decide that even though we've just gone from a goblin attack to a elven one, it may be time to call it a night so that I can get myself packed, or at least asleep. I can then pack very rapidly tomorrow morning. I'm sure it'll be fine. What are you guys doing there? That's weird. Oh, I've probably still got a station order in place, haven't I? Let's cancel that one. Yes, I should remember that we have someone in the southeast bolt hole. Bolt hole may actually have worked. I mean, it is at least an interesting trap. I mean, lever. Like, that is made with a masterwork granite mechanisms in order to cheer up anyone who sees it. But it is still going to, and there is enough food, so I think the administrator is not going to suffer too badly. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh no. I thought I'd just lost Dwarf Fortress to a freak killer accident, but it looks like I haven't, happily. So I will save now before I do. And then we will say good night. Good, I also haven't lost OBS. Good night.